Hey everybody, welcome to Matt's Metal Show. Yeah! Today we're not talking about Ozzy, we're talking about Aerosmith. Aerosmith. How did Aerosmith come up? Probably because when I was doing my Alice Cooper uh, ranking of the discography, I came across that Steven Tyler Joe Perry song that Alice did on Trash. Like My Heart Is Talking or whatever, and I was like, that song is crap, and it was. So I was like thinking about it, and I was like, well, fuck, I'll do Aerosmith. Let's do Aerosmith. Aerosmith is like a tale of two bands, you know. You got that '70s fucking band that was classic and had some really fucking great albums, and then you had the rebirth of Aerosmith, like when they got off drugs and then they hooked up with like John Kalodner for Geffen and Geffen Records, and then they started doing Desmond Child and all that fucking Song Doctor shit, and then they were hugely popular. Probably almost you could say more popular than they were back in the '70s. And then they kind of ran out of gas from that, you know. So Aerosmith's that band that when did I get into Aerosmith? I didn't get into Aerosmith till way later, like way later. Probably when I was dating my ex-wife. My ex-wife loved fucking Aerosmith, and when I was dating her, when she was my girlfriend, you know, we gotta impress our chicks, so so I went out and wasn't really like into fucking Aerosmith, and you know, I knew who the fuck Aerosmith was, but this was probably '88. I want to say 88, early 89 maybe. So, you know, I went out and I got all this fucking Aerosmith shit and I started making her like mixtapes and stuff. And the funny thing was, is in the end, I actually became more of an Aerosmith fan than she was because I actually got to go discover these fucking albums on my own and kind of, you know, I love making mixtapes and shit. So I would go and like pick songs that I thought were fucking cool as shit. And you know, so that was kind of my introduction into Aerosmith. I can remember them back in high school and stuff, but I don't remember people being like these huge Aerosmith fans. I think Aerosmith was like Kiss for me, and like Zeppelin, it was like probably my older sister's band because my older sister was 3 years older than me. So we young kids, we were into like the new wave of British metal and Ozzy and Priest and Maiden and shit like that. You know, Aerosmith was like a dinosaur band for us, you know, especially in that middle period in the '80s where they really weren't doing shit. Um, they're kind of like Alice Cooper, you know, they were kind of a dinosaur to us. So, like I said, I got into Aerosmith, and then, you know, and that was right around the time where all they were fucking doing all the pump and fucking, um, what is it, Get a Grip and shit like that. So fuck, there are 15 albums in their discography. Fucking let's fucking do it. Let's go over fucking Aerosmith. Aerosmith's that band that a lot of bands emulated, a lot of bands were like big fans of. I guess early on because he kind of looked weird and shit, he like, got kind of lumped in like as like Rolling Stones ripoffs. I know fucking Tyler's a huge fucking Stones fan, but I never really got that vibe from fucking Aerosmith. Aerosmith's that bluesy rock band from fucking Boston. I think they formed in 1970, but they didn't really get a record deal until they were playing at Max's Kansas City, and they actually like bribed their way in to do a set list because they had asked the CEO of Columbia to come and watch them, and they weren't on the bill that night, so they actually like paid money to like bribe their way in, and they actually wrote a song about it called "No Surprise," which was on Night in the Ruts. They ended up getting a record deal. Their first album came out in 1973, and They're pretty consistent for a lot of years. The thing with Aerosmith is they were fucking hardcore. Well, at least Steven Tyler and Joe Perry were. I'm pretty sure some of the other guys had some issues too, but Tyler and Perry, they were called Toxic Twins. They're fucking drug addicts, big time. And you could kind of see like when they started, and then they just started. I mean, they were coming out with killer albums. I don't understand how they could, but they were coming out with killer albums. But they were fucked up on drugs. Um, the first album is pretty much all written by Steven Tyler. I think there's only one song that he wrote with Joe Perry on that fucking album. It was said that he was very comfortable with his voice and he was kind of afraid to show how his voice truly was. So on that first album, he was kind of doing this fake voice. So when you listen to the first Aerosmith album, like Dream On and shit on it, supposedly that's like Tyler being afraid of what he really sounded like. You know, if people were gonna dig his fucking ow, you know, Steven Tyler, which is funny because now we look at him and he's one of the classic singers, one of the last rock stars, one of those guys like David Lee Roth and fucking, you know, those huge rock stars from the '70s. Steven Tyler's that guy that never grew up. He's just like David Lee Roth. Never grew up. Always singing songs about chicks. Pervy motherfucker. Kind of a creeper. You know, it's like Gene Simmons, but a little bit more interesting. I know he like was dating some chick that was like 14 or something, and he fucking adopted her so he could take her out on the road and shit like that. There's some fucked up shit that he did like back in the '70s that you're kind of looking forward and reading into some of his lyrics. You're like, jeez, dude, you're a fucking creeper, man. But yeah, fucking Aerosmith, man. They're still around, we think. We're not sure. There was some. I know there was an interview with Brad Whitford, probably in like I want to say 2019 or maybe even last year. It might have been last year. Or somebody asked him like, you know, what's going on with Aerosmith, and he said like he doesn't even care. Like he's like tired of waiting around and shit. But he also said age is becoming a factor. So if Aerosmith, he was kind of hinting that if Aerosmith was going to do anything, they should have done it because I don't think he didn't think like the lights going in and out of days. But great, didn't really think that fucking Aerosmith was going to fucking ever do anything ever again. So who fucking knows? Their last album was in 2012. So been 9 fucking years. So in that time, I think Steven Tyler came out with, didn't he come out with a fucking country album or some shit? I don't know, he's kind of a wacko, but fuck, let's get into fucking Aerosmith. Like I said, there's 15 studio albums. One of them's kind of a cover album, and it's called Honkin' on Bobo, and it's like a harmonica, bluesy, fucking weird album. You know, cool. So, fuck Aerosmith. Let's start it off. Number 15, we're going to go. Now, it was funny because this morning I was fucking listening to, you know, dusting off some of these albums that I hadn't really listened to in a long time. And I did my list, and then I was kind of listening to some of the albums, and I kind of shuffled my list around again because I was like, wait a second. There's at least like most of the Aerosmith stuff, there's at least 4 or 5 really good songs that I'm like, cool, man. There's that corporate section of music, which is kind of like from Permanent Waves to like Just Push Play, I want to say, where they were just kind of being ruled by John Kalodner, and then like, well, then they left Geffen, and then they went back to Columbia, and then just kind of lost their way. And you kind of wonder, like, in the early years, like, there wasn't most of the stuff was written by fucking Steven Tyler. Everybody goes, you know, Perry and Tyler, you know, that fucking, like, Keith and fucking Mick, you know, or fucking Paul and John, kind of shit. But really, Perry wasn't writing a whole ton of shit like in the early days. A little later on, yeah. But even on Rocks, he wrote like 4 fucking songs with Tyler. So Joe Perry can write songs. Well, we think that they could, but there was a point where you were kind of questioning, like, do they no longer have the ability to write songs on their own? You know, um, and then there's rumors like Ragdoll used to be called Ragtime, and then whatever the fuck the guy's name that got credit, all he did was change it to Ragdoll instead of Ragtime, and then he got songwriting credit. And I guess like Steven Tyler was pissed about that because he didn't really fucking write that. So hey, when you sell your soul to the fucking devil, you gotta fucking deal with the consequences. So, yeah. So here's a band that, man, they were up there and then they fell and then they were back up there again. So Aerosmith was kind of that blueprint for that band where they were popular, then they weren't, and then they were hugely popular again. You could almost fucking say that they were fucking just as popular as they were back in the day, almost more so. So, all right. So I was listening this morning, and originally, like, I put Just Push Play as the least favorite album of mine from Aerosmith, but then I actually gave it a listen, and I actually gave Nine Lives a listen, and Nine Lives actually ended up on the fucking bottom. So number 15 from 1997 is Nine Lives. Now, there was a burnout for me. I remember kind of being into the corporate Aerosmith. I remember though, like when I got Get a Grip, I remember listening to that album, and there's about 4 or 5 songs on there that I actually like. Sorry, he does with like Lenny Kravitz and shit. But like I was like, wow, I wasn't really in love with that fucking album. And then this is the follow up to that, and it's not amazing. Like, and it took 4 years, right? Is it 4 years? Yeah, because Get a Grip came out in '93 and this came out in '97. So I kind of lost favor with Aerosmith at a certain point. I think Get a Grip is where I kind of went, yeah, like the song Eat the Rich. I was like, yeah. This album though, so I didn't give it a lot of love back in the day. I have all the Aerosmith stuff. I just like never really kind of gave it its fucking full on due. But then I listened to it, and there's a reason why. It's not good. Opens up with the title track, Nine Lives. Written by Marty Friedrichsen, song doctor. Falling in Love is Hard on the Knees. Hole in My Soul was written by Desmond Child. This was the album that just, has Mark Hudson on here. It has all the fucking song doctors on here. Steve Dudis is on here. Yeah, this fucking album's garbage. It's just with this album, like, I listened to it and I was just like, the only song that was even kind of a little fun was the single Pink, and it's like the last song on the album. And even that's kind of dumb. But falling in love is Hard on the Knees. Like, it's fucking dumb, man. Taste of India, like, it starts off like when you're like fucking Ravi Shankar kind of shit, and you're thinking like, oh, that's fucking cool. What's Aerosmith doing? And then it's just dumb. It's just dumb, man. Full Circle. Something's got to give. All these songs are just written about like Steven Tyler banging fucking like 17-year-old chicks, basically. Everything's like, oh, you're just like your sister, or you're just like your mom, or you're just fucking like read into his lyrics, and you're just like kind of creeped out by it. I think if I do this, I get good life. Yeah, Nine Lives, not worth the time. It's fucking garbage. So, so number 14 is Just Push Play from 2001. And as you can see, man, there's like all of a sudden Aerosmith started out and they would put out like pretty much an album a year. And then when they started running into difficulties with each other and with drugs, that started to spread out. And then after a while, I was like, well, fuck, Aerosmith comes out with an album every whenever. Yeah, but they did the fuck out of touring, though. They would Just Push Play. They toured for like 2 fucking years on this album. It's like, Jesus Christ. Just Push Play is very noisy. It's a fucking noisy ass album. Let's see what this did it go. It went fucking platinum though, but platinum by this time for Aerosmith was like a letdown. Yeah, they probably got yelled at by their keepers, their fucking, whoever owned their soul at this point. Same thing on this album. You got Marty Fredrickson, you got Mark Hudson on this fucking album. No fucking Desmond Child. I guess Desmond Child had left the fucking building by this point. This album did go platinum. It's just really jangly and weird. Not jangly, but like noisy. Like if you listen to like the opening track's pretty cool, Beyond Beautiful. That's a cool song. Just Push Play is like a ripoff of fucking like Walk This Way. Just Push Play, Walk This Way. It's fucking dumb. Jaded is in that vein of fucking Angel and Amazing and Crying and all those one word fucking power ballads that they did. It's fucking dumb. Trip Hoppin's kind of fun, but like I said, like when you listen to this album, there's a bunch of fucking noise. The production, who fucking produced this fucking album? Let's check it out. Steven Tyler, Joe Perry, Mark Hudson, and Marty Friedrichsen. Well, shockaroo there. It's a fucking noisy album. I don't know if they're trying to be like, they're trying to be all hard and cool and whatever. Like Drop Dead Gorgeous, like I wanted to like that song, but it's so fucking noisy. It's just like I got all this fucking noise up in the front. This album's not awesome by any stretch of the imagination, but it's better than 9 Lives by like that much. 9 Lives, I didn't like any song off that album. This one I like 2 songs maybe. Yeah, like Trip Hoppin's cool and Beyond Beautiful's cool. Drop Dead Gorgeous, I kind of wanted to like it, but I don't know. It's really fucking just loud and obnoxious, so. And it's kind of reminds me a lot of fucking Get a Grip, so. That's my number 14, 9 Lives. Fucking Aerosmith! Or, it's funny because it's the same 5 guys that have been in fucking Aerosmith since the beginning, but by this point, they sold their fucking souls, dude. So, I don't think. It's funny when you see interviews where, like, Tom Hamilton's, like, bitching about something, or Brad Whitford's bitching about Tyler or whatever, and it's like, well, fuck, dude. You haven't written a fucking song in how many fucking years? There's not one fucking songwriting credit from Hamilton, Tom Hamilton, and not one fucking writing credit from fucking Brad Whitford, so shut the fuck up. It's all Tyler Perry, and then some song doctor, so makes you wonder how far they could get in the creative process without like somebody holding their fucking hand. So did a bunch of drugs and they were pretty fucking good songwriters when they were fucked up, so some bands will tell you they did their best stuff when they were fucked up. That was number 14. Number 13, I'm going to go Honkin' on Bobo. And Honkin' on Bobo's not a bad album. It's just not something that I grab a lot. Listening to old like blues standards from the 40s is, a bunch of fucking harmonica. I mean, it's got the harmonica. Bobo's the harmonica. It's on the cover and it's got like lipstick on it. It came out in 2004. It's got Roadrunner. It's got Eyesight to the Blind. Baby Please Don't Go. The Grind is the only original fucking Aerosmith song. That was the one new song. It's called The Grind. It's cool. Backpack Train, Jesus is on the Main Line. I mean, it's a cool album, but I don't really fucking reach for it a whole bunch. But it's fun to listen to. You know, if you want to get into that old bluesy fucking, you know, if you want to throw on some Robert Johnson. You know, cool. That's number 13. I don't have a bunch to say about that. I really don't. There's some latter fucking Aerosmith albums that are just like, wow, why? You just fucking have to ask yourself, like, why? Like, hey guys, we don't have any song doctors on this one, or do they? Let's check it out. Maybe The Grind was written by fucking Desmond Child. I don't know. Let's fucking look. Just seemed like an odd choice. Oh, The Grind is written by Steven Tyler, Joe Perry, and Marty Friedrichsen. Wow. Well. Shocking. And they're doing Bo Diddley, Sonny Boy Williamson, Joe Williams, Ronnie Shannon, Willie Dixon. Yeah. It's pretty exciting. It's not. That's number 13, Honkin' on Bobo. Number 12, and this was the only Aerosmith album that I didn't own forever and a day. And then finally, like, I remember I was going through, like, all my Aerosmith, and I was like, oh, I never did get their last album. Had that comic book cover, looked like a Thomas Dolby album. You know, didn't it look like Aliens Ate My Buick? So I went out and got this finally, and I listened to it, and yeah. There's some cool songs on here, though, okay? There's at least 4 songs that I actually fucking like. This was nothing stellar. This was nothing mind-fucking-blowing. It was just a fucking Aerosmith album that was... I know it took a fucking bunch of years to make, because I think they started recording this in 2006. And then all kinds of fucking crazy shit happened in the interim with Steven Tyler and all this fucking shit. And then they finally put this album together. It took like 6 fucking years to put this album together. Diane Warren wrote We All Fall Down. Desmond Child helped write Another Last Goodbye. And Marty Friedrichsen is on here too, so I guess they're all still good friends. I think this album did shit, did it? No, it did not. Oh, it went gold in Canada. Woo, 40,000 copies. You know, it's 2012, so by this time, like, even though there's 4 singles released from this album, it didn't really do shit. It's like 67 minutes long, which is pretty fucking long for a fucking Aerosmith album. It's called Music from Another Dimension, and it was released on November 6, 2012. Like I said, I didn't own this album for a lot of years. And then finally I figured out that, oh, I'm kind of a completist, so fuck, I went and got it. And then I listened to it, and there's, like I said, there's 4 cool songs on here. It starts off with Love Triple X, and that's just some little fucking Steven Tyler written. It's all right. And it starts off like all grandiose and shit, like music from another dimension. Like, this is gonna blow your fucking mind. You're like, there's a lot of things on here too that like they've been doing in the past years where they're kind of ripping themselves off. So you got that, but Out Goes the Light. Out Go the Lights is a pretty cool song. Legendary Child's a cool song. Street Jesus, I fucking dug that song. And Another Last Goodbye. Those are the 4 songs that I actually like on this album. Even though Another Last Goodbye was written by Desmond Child. I must have been like weak towards the end of this. This is just the fucking Aerosmith album, and you just kind of scratch your head. It took him so fucking long to record this because there was all this shit Steven Tyler was doing, fucking all kinds of shit, and then he fell off the wagon and went back on the wagon. And was he in Aerosmith? Was he not in Aerosmith? Was he doing like American Idol? Yeah. And then like, there was a point. Actually, there was a point where they were looking for different singers. Um, I think they asked. I think they asked like Lenny Kravitz, and he said no. And they asked like Sammy Hagar, and he thought about it. Then he said no. And then Tyler finally got a whiff of it, and he actually sent a cease and desist order from his fucking lawyer to them, saying, "Hey, I'm still in fucking Aerosmith, so you all better stop looking for fucking lead singers." That's what a tight band this is. So he sends his fucking lawyer down to be like, "Hey, what the fuck? This is my band." And fucking Aerosmith is fucking Steven Tyler's band. I mean, you could, it's jumping. No, it's Steven Tyler's fucking band, dude. He wrote the bulk of the material. Steven Tyler's band, so you don't replace Steven Tyler and fucking Aerosmith. Plus, you don't replace Steven Tyler and fucking Aerosmith anyways, because Steven Tyler is fucking Aerosmith. Yeah, I want to hear fucking. Because really, if you peel it away, like, are you a huge Brad Whitford fan? Are you? Are you a huge Tom Hamilton fan? Or I don't know any fucking bass player that would cite Tom Hamilton as a fucking influence. Joey Kramer, like in the old days, like he was a pretty good drummer. He went to Berkeley and then he dropped out. Whitford went to Berkeley. That's why they were all in Boston. You know. It's like Perry and Tyler, but at the same time, dude, Perry left for a while and Tyler continued on. So, yeah, it's fucking Aerosmith is fucking Steven Tyler. If Steven Tyler's not in the band, don't fucking call it Aerosmith because that's not right. Alright, that was Music from Another Dimension is number 12. Number 11, this might shock some people, but I don't give a fuck. Because I actually was listening to it and I was like, well, I only like really 4 fucking songs on this album. Permanent Vacation from 1987. This is that album. Desmond Child. Yep. This is when Geffen Records decided, hey, well, actually, mostly it was their manager, like Tim Collins, right? That said, hey, if you guys got off fucking drugs and got your shit together, I'll make you guys huge fucking stars in the next couple of years if you could fucking get your shit together. And so they kind of did. Done with Mirrors was kind of a letdown. That was the reunion album in 85, and that was kind of a letdown. And they were all still fucked up on drugs and shit, and they were unreliable, and people kind of thought of them as a joke. So Permanent Vacation was that album where, it's got that big Bruce Fairbairn fucking production on it. It's got a fuck ton of song doctors on it. Desmond Child, Jim Balance, Holly Knight. Holy shit. Tom Hamilton has a writing credit on it. What a fucking genius he is. Ooh, Tom Hamilton. Yeah. This was that album that like their fucking manager said, like, dude, if you guys could get clean and we'll get Bruce Fairbairn and we'll get fucking Desmond Child and Jim Bounds, we got all these people, and Geffen will, because Geffen thinks that they can make some fucking money off you. John Kalodner can fucking tool you and fucking image you and own your fucking soul. And they did, and then they came out with this album and it was a huge fucking success. They went from albums that didn't even fucking do shit Because really, like, the last successful album for them before this was probably like Draw the Line, maybe. Fucking wasn't rocking a hard place. Was Done with Mirrors. What did Done with Mirrors do? It went gold. So it was certified. It went gold. Rockin' a Hard Place went gold. You know, Night in the Ruts went platinum, but not till like 94, so, 20 fucking years later. Yeah, so they go with Done with Mirrors was gold, so sold 500,000 copies here in America. That was pretty good, but then Permanent Vacation sold 5 million copies. Do the fucking math. So this was a huge fucking album for them. They were all over MTV. MTV was the perfect fucking resurrection tool for them. They also could thank Run DMC for fucking, like, basically resuscitating their career by covering fucking Walk This Way back in, 86, I want to say. And that was where, like, people were like, oh. And people that normally wouldn't even listen to fucking Aerosmith were like, oh, Aerosmith? Thank you, Run DMC. You be illin'. So yeah, they come out with this album. It's a fucking huge success. 5 million fucking copies sold in America. It's a big fucking album. But it's corporate bullshit, and I don't like most of the fucking shit on here. But I like Hearts Done Time. I love Ragdoll. Living in a movie, Ragdoll, Daddy's little cutie, and you're so done. I never see you leave him out the back door, man. Boobie da bobby da shooby da. He does all this scatting and stuff. Dude Looks Like a Lady, which was supposed to be, was it about Vince Neil? I think so. That was the rumor that the song was about Vince Neil, because he looked like a lady. I thought Tommy Lee on Shout at the Devil looked more like a lady than Vince Neil did. So, but that's, a cool song. St. John. St. John's a fucking great song. I love fucking Hangman Jury. Oh, don't you lie on the track like a work. Oh, don't you lie on the track. Drank so much hoochie that my eyes began to blur. And they say I nailed it to the wall. A stitch in time don't beat a thing, no Hangman's Jury. That's the way it looks from here, boy, when you lie on the track like a hip, boy, when you lie on the track. Fucking great song. And that's about it. I fucking hate Angel. Ugh. Mariah was kind of magic touch. I need your magic touch. There were some cool songs on here. The title track, Permanent Vacation. They do the fucking Beatles song, I'm Down. I don't really want to hear them do Beatles songs, though, except for Come Together, and they did Helter Skelter, and those were cool, because those were more kind of scratchy voice Beatles songs. But I'm Down. That was Permanent Vacation. Like I said, it was this huge fucking album. A lot of people worship that album. When you dig deep and stuff, it's all song doctored and kind of manufactured. It was kind of built around being on MTV, which it was. Everything was fucking on MTV. Angel was a huge hit. Ragdoll and fucking Dude Looks Like a Lady. But Hangman Jury's probably my favorite fucking song on this album. Ragdoll, I like Ragdoll. Just because it's so Steven Tyler-y, it's fucking awesome. Ba-da-doo-bop, ba-da-doo-bop. Down and down and out now. Shabba-dabba-doo-bop. Yep, so that's number 11, Permanent Vacation. And then I went number 10, I went Get a Grip, which is funny because most people would think, oh, it'd be the opposite, but it's not, actually, because I did like more songs off Get a Grip. I fucking hate Eat the Rich. I really do. It's so dumb. You know, it's a cool Motorhead song, but this Eat the Rich on here is fucking dumb. I don't know why, but there was always like something on Get a Grip that just, it was probably the cow udder with the fucking earring hanging off of it that always turned me off to this fucking album. I always just thought like, wow, it's creepy. But the title track's cool. Living on the Edge! Living on the Edge is a fucking cool song. It really is. Flesh is such a fucking weird song, but actually kind of like that song. Flash! Walk on down. Walk on down. That is a fucking cool song. And is that the song he did with Lenny Kravitz? Walk on down. It's a fucking Joe Perry fucking song. What fucking song was Lenny Kravitz on? Down. Oh, Desmond Child played keyboards on Crazy. Somebody fucking punched that guy in the face. Bruce Fairbairn played trumpet on this fucking album. Don Henley. See, that's why I hate this fucking album. Don Henley's fucking on it. Knew it. No, Lenny Kravitz sings backing vocals on Lineup. Lineup's another fucking good song. Walk on down, walk on down. You could tell that's kind of a swanky Joe Perry fucking song. You really could. Now that I look at it, I'm like, oh yeah, it does totally sounds like a fucking Joe Perry song, like Joe Perry Project kind of shit. What's the other song? Line Up. That's the other fucking song that I like. All those fucking bullshit singles, Crying, Crazy, Amazing, all that shit with those fucking creepy videos with his daughter and fucking like Alicia Silverstone. Those are fucking bullshit. Fucking lame. So I remember getting this album and I remember listening to it a bunch. But I would only get like so far into it because there's a lot of fucking songs on here. That was the other thing. There's 14 fucking songs on here. It's like, Jesus. I mean, I don't even know, like, the first song is only this little intro, but where he does some little jive rap. This was kind of just like, Pump was really good. It was really good. It was song doctored and fucking bullshit corporate fucking Aerosmith, but I still liked it. But, like, this was kind of going to the next level where they started running out of ideas, so they were just letting Tyler's dumb, goofy ass, like, oh, let him be in charge. Probably not a good idea. There was always something that just stuck with me on this album, and now I figured out fucking Don Henley's on here. Another fucking creeper, so I mean, sure, him and fucking Steven Tyler could sit there and swap stories about how they bang 14-year-old girls. Good job, guys. Fucking creeps. Anyways. Get a Grip's number 10. Number 9, I'm going to go Rockin' Hard Place. And the only reason I actually rated this higher, even though I like less songs on here, it's got one of my favorite Aerosmith songs on it. This is the album that there's no Joe Perry and there's no Brad Whitford. They bailed. Joe Perry quit in the middle of fucking Night in the Ruts. And then Brad Whitford quit afterwards, I want to say. So this is it's got Jimmy Crespo, or Crepso, right? Is it Crespo? Jimmy. Rick Dufay. If you look at the pictures on the back of this album, and I'll put them up here, they're pretty fucking funny. It's like, where did you find these guys? Off the street? One guy looks like Chachi's brother, and the other guy looks like Brad Pitt. Stoner Brad Pitt that they found in the fucking garbage. He's wearing some horrific sweater, and his lips are super red. You're just like, whoa, what fucking happened to this? Jimmy Crespo, yeah. Tom Hamilton's still on bass, because where the fuck is he gonna go? Joey Kramer's still on drums, because by this point, where the fuck is he gonna go? Rick Dufay has rhythm guitar. He's actually credited, but he doesn't play on the album. So it was all just Jimmy Crespo and Steven Tyler. Jimmy Crespo's still around. Like, you see videos where he brags about being in Aerosmith. Sure, fucking Steven Tyler calls him up all the time. They sing songs together. But this was kind of a shitty album. I remember when this came out. Like, I remember seeing ads for it in like Circus Magazine and shit. But I had no interest because I wasn't really into Aerosmith back in '82. Jailbait is fucking awesome. I love Jailbait. It's such a great fucking song. Like, Jailbait, Jailbait. Yeah. And Lightning Strikes. I fucking love that song. That's one of my favorite fucking Aerosmith songs ever is fucking Lightning Strikes. And you see the video where like Tyler's wearing the trench coat and hat. And he's like, boys and the Dukes are ready to rumble. Word on the street, some heads are gonna tumble. Ow! It's a fucking cool song. The rest of this album is weird. Bitches Brew is a good song. Bolivian Ragamuffin. It's got Cry Me a River. My ex-wife fucking loved that song. I think that's one of the most boring motherfucking songs on the planet. But hey, it's a cover tune. It's got Prelude to Joni and then Joni's Butterfly. That's fucking garbage. Rockin' a Hard Place, Cheshire Cat is alright. Jig Is Up is alright. And then Push Comes to Shove. This isn't a fucking solid album. It's kind of like experimental in spots. And then it's just kind of... But it's got fucking lightning strikes on it, so that kind of elevates it a little higher than it probably should be. But that is number 9, Rockin' a Hard Place. Number 8 was the album that was supposed to bring him back from the fucking dead. In 1985, there was a little album called Done with Mirrors. Now, unfortunately, Geffen, when they signed Aerosmith off of Columbia, because they were dead, Columbia didn't want anything to do with them. Wow! One day later, took that phone call, and then mysteriously, I'm wearing an Eddie shirt. Who were we talking about? We were talking about Done with Mirrors. So Geffen signs the broken Aerosmith because Joe Perry wanted to come back, and so did Brad Whitford. You know, Whitford went and did that stuff with Derek St. Holmes. Not successful. And then Joe Perry was coming out the Joe Perry Project. So there's actually a song on this album from the Joe Perry Project called Let the Music Do the Talking, which kind of Steven Tyler revamped the lyrics. So they come out with this album. This is supposed to be like the return of Aerosmith. And some genius, it's called Done with Mirrors, and then some genius put the entire album backwards. So you were supposed to hold it up to a mirror to be able to fucking read it because everything was fucking backwards. And that kind of detracted from the popularity of this fucking album. When they sent out press copies to like radio stations and shit, they would be like, yeah, we're going to play the new Aerosmith album. We're going to play, oh, this shit's all backwards. I can't fucking read it. We're going to play Walk This Way. We're going to put on Dream On. Sweet Emotion, you know. So kind of one of the very Spinal Tap-ish, you know. And, you know, fuck, the previous album had fucking Stonehenge on it, right? So, so 1985, Done with Mirrors came out. And it went gold, but it wasn't this huge fucking comeback fucking album that it should have been. It's a solid fucking album. It reminds me a lot of like kind of Night in the Ruts. Because it was like Aerosmith. And then if you listen to this album and then you listen to like Permanent Vacation, I called it Permanent Waves earlier. Permanent Vacation. You can tell the difference. This is a straight up Aerosmith album. And that album's a fucking song doctored fucking you know, MTV driven fucking, yeah. Because this album was just written by the band, you know. Let the Music Do the Talking was written by Joe Perry. My Fist Your Face was Tyler and Perry. Shame on You was just Tyler. Tom Hamilton helped write The Reason a Dog. Tommy Hamilton getting in on the fucking action. Right? Oh yeah. This is actually a pretty cool album. It is one of the kind of the later Aerosmith albums that I actually enjoy. It's number number 8 on the list. Love Get the Music or Let the Music Do the Talking. That's a good fucking song. The Reason a Dog is actually a really cool song. There's a song towards the end of the album called The Hop. And it's like, let the boys in Aerosmith rock you out. It's a fucking cool ass song. And then for the CD release, they added on a song called Darkness. And it's a fucking great song. Darkness, darkness, take my body home. Well, I'm in love, I'm in love, I'm in love. My voice is still shit, so. This was a solid fucking album. But it wasn't like an album. Obviously wasn't pushed on MTV. Aerosmith at this time had this really bad reputation because they're all a bunch of fucking drug addicts. They were still fucking drug addicts on this fucking album. I think at this time, there's that fucking story from Izzy Stradlin, because Izzy Stradlin was a fucking heroin dealer in fucking Hollywood. And he was dealing fucking heroin to fucking Joe Perry at this time. This is right before they all went into fucking rehab and got cleaned up. Because their manager, Tim Collins, was like, dude, like, fuck, if we could get you guys cleaned up and, we get some fucking people in here, we could fucking make you guys as big as you were back in the day. And so this album... This was actually like the last true, to me, like the last true fucking Aerosmith album, because this was before everybody had their fingers in the pie. This was before they had John Kalodner walking around with them on leashes like little fucking little dogs. This was a fucking straight up Aerosmith album, and it's pretty fucking awesome. So, Done with Mirrors, 1985. All right, let's go 1977 for the next one. Number 7, we're going to go Draw. Character from the guy that did what, like the New Yorker. Draw the Line, man. This is where they were like fucking just fucked up. I think there's a lot of fucking help from their friends. Like Jack Douglas, did he produce this? He did, I believe. Yeah, Jack Douglas produced this. He even plays mandolin on one of my favorite fucking Aerosmith songs of all time, fucking Kings and Queens. Critical Mass. Fuck yeah! Draw the Line. Opens up with fucking Draw the Line. I Want to Know Why is a fucking great song. Critical Mass is a fucking great song. Get It Up's alright. Bright Light Fight. Or Bright Light Flight. Fright? It's got kings and queens and guillotines. Making lives denied. Starching parchment laid the law when bishops took the ride on into the sea. Ow! What a fucking great song Kings and Queens is. Not the whole fucking band wrote that song, so that's fucking great. And then Jack Douglas kind of helped him out a little bit. This album's fucking solid. They were And draw the line. Yeah, they knew how to fucking draw the line, all right. Yep. Fucking doing mounds of cocaine. It's a cool fucking album. There's a lot of things I like. You know, they do Milk Cow Blues, Cypress Sore Eyes. Yeah. But overall, man, it's a fucking 70s, late 70s fucking Aerosmith album. These guys are wrecked on fucking drugs and like, but there was still like that magic still in the fucking system of Aerosmith where they could actually get together and actually write really fucking good songs without having somebody come in and fucking show them what the fuck to do. Yeah, draw the line. Number 7. Number 6. Number 6, we're going to go to the second Aerosmith album from 1974. That horrible fucking logo in that really bad picture. Brad Whitford just looks like an ugly girl. He's got fucking bangs. This album was really fucking good. Same old song and dance. Caught you with the cocaine to get you undone. Screwed face lawyer, nothing to song. Love ain't the same on the south side of town. Can't look, but you ain't gonna find it around. It's the same old story, same old song and dance, my friend. Oh, it's got Lord of the Thighs. It's got fucking Spaced is a fucking cool song. I just listened to this like yesterday. It's like trippy and weird, but it's fucking cool. It kind of works. They do a cover of Train Kept a Rollin'. Train kept a rolling all night long. Then the Yardbirds kind of their cover was pretty important, but so is fucking Aerosmith. Aerosmith kind of made it their own. And then you got Seasons of Wither. Pandora's Box is cool. SOS Too Bad's cool. Like, this is a solid fucking album. For being their second album, they started to get that better sound going on. Started to get a little bit more produced. Because the first album was kind of rough. It was genius, but it was fucking kind of rough. This is where they hooked up with Jack Douglas and, fucking started to get a little fucking better production on their fucking albums. But there's some fucking drop dead Aerosmith fucking classics on here. Fucking Same Old Song and Dance, Lord of the Thighs, fucking Train Kept a Rollin'. Even though it's not theirs, but there was a fucking solid ass fucking cover of that. And Seasons of Wither. Most of it's run by fucking Steven Tyler. Tyler Perry did Same Old Song and Dance. But even on this second album, Joe Perry wrote 2 fucking songs. Joey Kramer helped write fucking Pandora's Box. Wow. But that's it. 2 fucking songs. So he wrote 1 song off the first album. He wrote 2 songs off the second album. So, it's a fucking great album. I mean, it's, number 6. So, Get Your Wings from 1974. Number 5. Number 5, I'm going to go to that corporate sellout fucking shill of an album, but I'm sorry, I fucking liked it. We're going to go Pump. You know what? In 1989, this shit was all over MTV. Aerosmith was fucking huge at this point. And, this album? This album went fucking like 7 times fucking platinum. It's my, Pump. Woo! Yeah, 7 times fucking platinum. So the previous album went 5 times platinum, and this was 7 times fucking platinum. And this fucking album was slathered all over. Fucking Aerosmith was everywhere, dude. They were on MTV. They were on fucking anything They were doing fucking kitty birthday parties and shit like that. Whatever the fuck you could slap Aerosmith into, they were in it. This is a fucking great album, though. For being corporate bullshit, fucking MTV driven fucking Aerosmith. What can you say? Young Lust is a great song. Steven Tyler, Joe Perry with a little bit of Jim Balance in there. Loving an elevator. Well, I'm going down. What is these? Like third floor, children's wear, ladies lingerie. That's just a straight Tyler Perry song, and that's fucking awesome. Janie's Got It by Tyler and Tom Hamilton. Tom Hamilton throwing out the fucking blocks there and fucking writing a song with fucking Tyler. Other Side was alright. But it's a good song. My girl, like Lady Godiva, and my girl, it's hellfire. What else? Don't Get Mad at Even. I love Voodoo Medicine Man. And that was written by Tyler and Brad Whitford. And that's probably one of my favorite songs on the fucking album. What It Takes. Fucking Desmond Child. Fuck that guy. But Young Lust, Going Down, Loving an Elevator, The Water Song / Janie's Got a Gun, Dulcimer Stomp / The Other Side, My Girl, and Voodoo Medicine Man. Voodoo Medicine Man. Those are all great songs. And all these songs where they had to add a little intro and then they went into the song. This is what Permanent Vacation wasn't. Totally Song Doctor, totally fucking packaged up, totally fucking. David Geffen is like 1,000% behind these guys. They're getting fucking promoted. They're getting fucking pushed everywhere. It was a huge fucking album. 7 million fucking copies sold just in America. But it fucking worked. You know, these songs, a lot of these songs were just written by Tyler and Perry. So there was a lot of like, and you know, Tom Hamilton and fucking Tyler and fucking Whitford and Tyler. So this was the album, and that's probably why it was so good. It was because there was like a core of songs that like just the band fucking wrote. They, you know, obviously there's song doctors on some of the other tracks, but like, and some of those songs were kind of dumb, you know. So, but fucking Pump is number 5. It's a pretty fucking solid album, and I listened to it like a billion fucking times because I remember my wife fucking loved this fucking album. I used to play it all the time, and I used to be like, okay, I'm getting kind of tired of Pump. Let's move on to something else. Number 4, I'm going to go 1973. Aerosmith. The debut album from Aerosmith. Like I said before, this is the album where Steven Tyler was still a little shy about how he sounded as a singer. So there's this. He was kind of using like a fake voice on these songs. He wasn't like, because if you listen to this and then you listen to like Get Your Wings, it's like night and day. It's like, this is Steven Tyler, but this is really fucking Steven Tyler. So, but this for a debut album, it's a fucking really fucking awesome album. It's got a lot of fucking cool songs on it, a lot of staple songs. All the songs were written by fucking Steven Tyler, except for, well, obviously Walking the Dog is a cover from Rufus Thomas, but it's fucking awesome. Joe Perry and Tyler wrote Moving Out. That was the only song that Joe Perry had a hand in. And then the song Somebody Tyler wrote with Steven Emspack. I don't know what the fuck that is. But everything else written by Tyler. So that's why you could really kind of make the fucking argument that who is fucking Aerosmith? Steven fucking Tyler. I mean, just saying. God, my fucking lighting. Let's get back to fucking album. Woo! Opens up with Make It. Make It was a song, like Steve Tyler said, like they were driving, he was in the backseat of this car and they were driving back into Boston. He was just kind of thinking of like a song. What kind of song would he sing, like opening up for the Stones? You know, because he's obviously a huge Stones fan. So Make It. Somebody's all right. Dream On, of course, by Aerosmith's fucking most recognized song. Every time that I look in the mirror, staring out of my face, getting clearer. The past is gone. It went out just like dust to dawn, and not the way everybody's got the dues in life to pay. Fucking great song. He wrote that on a fucking piano. He wrote that like mostly like way back, even before Aerosmith. He used to play on this piano in some club. I've seen pictures of the piano. It's this fucking old ass like fucking white piano, like stand up. But yeah, fucking Dream On. Mama Kin. Mama Kin's another fucking great song on here. Get in touch with Mama Kin. Tell her where you're gonna bed. Sleeping late and smoking tea. Was smoking tea, dude. Woo! Mama Kin. Tyler's got that tattoo on his. Moving Out's a fucking great song. That's the song you did with Tyler and Perry. And then Walking the Dog, which is a cover tune, but it's fucking awesome. Maybe Letter's alright. One Way Street's alright, but this is a fucking solid fucking debut album, 1973. It didn't really do a whole bunch of business. But it was a great fucking starting point. They just got signed by Elektra. 2 million copies, so it's double platinum, but I'm pretty sure it didn't go double platinum back in 1973. Yeah, the album was not a success when it was released in January of 1973. It was not reviewed in Rolling Stone magazine. Because Columbia released Aerosmith at the same time they released Bruce Springsteen's debut album, for which they used greater promotional effort. And critics kind of compared them to the Stones and the fucking New York Dolls, which New York Dolls was... I don't understand that, because if you listen to the New York Dolls, they were not a good fucking band. They were, I guess, a live band. I heard rumors that, like, you could see the New York Dolls, like, 5 shows in a row, like, Monday through Friday, and out of those 5 shows, maybe one of those shows was amazing, and then the other shows, they were fucking garbage. So it's kind of weird how like Aerosmith got lumped in. It's because they're into the blues. That's why I don't really get that Rolling Stones fucking vibe. Back then, people were a little bit more brutal. That was number 4, Aerosmith from 1973. Number 3, this is probably everybody's favorite fucking Aerosmith album. They're going to be like, oh my god, you lost it. But it's not my favorite Aerosmith album. I'm going to go 1976, and I'm going to go to... Don't get me wrong. I mean, it's in the top 3, so but pretty much anything in the top fucking whatever is fucking amazing. But God, these guys were fucked up on drugs when they came out with this fucking album, and it's fucking brilliant. It is fucking brilliant. Everybody cites this album, all these fucking bands and shit cite this album as their like most favorite, most influential, most fucking loved fucking Aerosmith album ever. And I get it. It's a fucking great album. It's just not my favorite. It starts off with "Back in the Saddle Again," where Joe Perry's like playing like a 6-string fucking bass. Yeah, it's crazy. I never knew that until like I was watching what was it? I was watching like Nikki Sixx talk to Slash on his like the last broadcast of the Sixth Sense radio show, and then they had Joe Perry kind of like do a Zoom call with them, and like he was like, "Yeah, I played it on a 6-string bass," and they're like, "Oh." And actually, he does that live too. But back in the saddle again, I'm back. Last Child is a fucking great song. Rats in the Cellar is a fucking great song. Nobody's Fault is a fucking great song. Lickin' a Promise is a fucking great song. Combination's alright. Sick as a Dog. Get the Let Out. Home Tonight. This is a fucking solid album, but those aren't my favorite fucking Aerosmith songs. Those songs that I just named. But it's fucking rocks, dude. It's a fucking great album. These guys were fucking toasted at this point. In 76, they were fucked up out of their minds. Joe Perry said in his fucking, in his biography, his autobiography, Rocks was the album, to re-identify them as America's garage band. So, that's fucking cool. This was the album, too, that I think a lot of the times these guys weren't showing up. So they had to, like, fucking... Because, like, Tom played rhythm guitar on Sick as a Dog. I played bass for the first half of the song. I'm going to put the bass down and play guitar in the end. And Steve would pick up the bass and played it for the rest of the song. So these guys were doing all kinds of crazy shit in the studio. But I think, like, Critical Mass, I want to say, like... Six-string bass on Black in the Cell, yeah. Sick as a Dog. Played the steel pedal guitar. I want to say that Jack Douglas like had to like step in and do some stuff too. On like, I think so, or I might be confusing that with fucking Draw the Line, which was like the same kind of blackout period for these guys. But this is a great fucking album. Everybody loves this fucking album. Everybody cites this album as like the greatest fucking Aerosmith album ever. It's in my top 3, but it's not my fucking favorite. But there's definitely some fucking great fucking albums, or great songs on that fucking album. Number 2, this will kind of surprise some people, but it shouldn't. If you love Aerosmith, go back and listen to 1979's Night in the Rut. I always kind of viewed this album as Joe Perry played on some of it. Jimmy Crespo played on some of it. Like, over the years, this album has just fucking grown in my fucking estimation of fucking Aerosmith, and it's actually become my second favorite fucking Aerosmith album. Yeah. Richie Supa. Yeah, Jimmy Crespo played lead on 3 Mile Smile. Richie Supa played some guitars on No Surprise and Mia. This was an album, like, they were in the fucking studio, as legend goes. They were in the studio, and this album was taking a long fucking time, because by this time in 79, these guys were fucked up on drugs. Steven Tyler, Joe Perry, they were fucked up on drugs. Steven Tyler would fucking pass out on stage. Just, they'd be like, ugh. So they were taking a shitload of time in the studio. Um, so they kind of took a break in the midst of this, and they went and did some fucking thing in Cleveland, some show in Cleveland. And then during that show, I want to say Joe Perry's wife threw a glass of milk at like Tom Hamilton's wife, I want to say, or something like that. Backstage, there was some shit going on, and then I guess Tyler fucking went and confronted Joe Perry about it, and Joe Perry fucking quit the band. He was fucking done with it. Because at this point, there was so much fucking crazy shit going on that it was taking fucking forever. And when you see when Joe Perry went and started the Joe Perry Project, his biggest thing was like, dude, I'm in a band that we can actually just go fucking record a fucking album in a fucking reasonable amount of time and then go out and fucking play. And that's all he wanted to fucking do, even though they were all fucking drug addicts. He's no fucking angel, but at the same time, dude, this album was just dragging out and fucking taking fucking forever. And they were all going fucking stir crazy. And of course, once when you're being held prisoner by your own band, you guys start to go at each other. It was recorded in mid '79, is what it says, in New York City, and it was released on November 16, 1979. Like I said, when I first got into Aerosmith, I kind of viewed this as one of their lesser albums because I knew, like, well, Perry didn't play it. This is the album where Perry left, and but over the years, it's fucking gained momentum, and it's a fucking really good fucking album. It's my number 2, so opens up with No Surprise, written by Tyler and Perry. That's kind of about that song, or that's that song about them playing at Max Kansas City in New York City, and like having who was that? I'm gonna fucking look it up real quick because that bugs me. Clive Davis. Clive Davis, the president of Columbia Records, had come in and seen the band play at Max's Kansas City in fucking New York. And so that's what this song is about. They actually bribed their way onto the bill because they weren't fucking scheduled to play. And so they fucking paid their way on stage, and then Clive Davis saw him and he fucking said, cool. Oh my god. Yeah, it says this album recorded started in the spring of '79, but from the beginning they were delayed, hampered by rampant use of vocalist Steven Tyler, difficulty completing his lyrics and vocals. Tom Hamilton recalled, "We worked on the album, but we couldn't finish it. It was supposed to come out in June and be called Off Your Rocker, but there were no lyrics. It was a big crisis. The band members were also in dire financial straits, with guitarist Joe Perry owing the band $80,000 for room service." What the fuck? The fuck did you order from room service that was 80 fucking dollars? Were you ordering fucking giant bags of cocaine? Probably at this point, yeah, they were. So these guys are holed up in New York City. They're trying to finish this album. Steven Tyler's fucked up out of his mind. Can't write lyrics. He's all fucking a mess. Joe Perry's apparently he's hanging out the fucking Ritz-Carlton fucking ordering room service like left and fucking right. And yeah, there was a lot of fucking shit going on, and then came to a head in Cleveland after that show, and then Joe Perry walked the fuck out. He said, "No Surprise." That's the song about them impressing Clive Davis at Max's Kansas City. It's a fucking great song. Chiquita's pretty cool. Remember, Walking in the Sand. That's a fucking cover, right? From the Shangri-Las. Yes, it is. The Shangri-Las. That's such a good song, though. Cheesecake. That's a fucking great song. My ex-wife loved that fucking song. That was like her favorite fucking song. But that's a great song. 3 Mile Styles. 3 Mile Smiles. Pretty fucking cool. Reefa Head Woman. That's a cool song. Bone to Bone. Coney Island Whitefish Boy. Mm-hmm. Coney Island Whitefish. Coney Island Whitefish. That's Tyler and Perry. Coney Island Whitefish is a condom floating in the water by Coney Island. That's what they called it. Coney Island Whitefish. Started cheer that. Think About It's Okay. And then Mia. He wrote a song about his daughter. Tyler did. Ends the album and it's fucking fantastic. This is a fucking great Aerosmith album, but it gets kind of pissed on, or not really pissed on, just kind of forgotten about. It went platinum, but like I said, it went platinum in '94, like 15 years after the album came out. So '94, off the success of all their other fucking newer albums, people went back and bought this and said, yeah, fucking Night in the Ruts. And then it was, so they're in the coal mine and in the front, and in the back it's like crossed out and it says right in the nuts. So great fucking Aerosmith album. If you don't listen to this or haven't listened to this or whatever, go fucking listen to this, because fuck, it's my number 2, and it's my number 2 for a fucking reason. Basically rocks, Night in the Ruts, and then of course my number 1, which is 1975's Toys in the Fucking Attic. That's the heard it now. I can remember as a kid, we knew who fucking Aerosmith was. They put him on the fucking radio. You'd hear Dream On, you'd hear Walk This Way, you'd hear Sweet Emotion. You'd hear the hits on the radio. And I want to say, like, my first real introduction to Aerosmith was the Greatest Hits album. The Red Greatest Hits album that had all their cool songs on it. It had the edited version of fucking Same Old Song and Dance, where they don't talk about cocaine. And I can remember my first song that I fucking loved from Aerosmith was fucking Kings and Queens. I remember having that fucking album, Greatest Hits, and it fucking and that was what the final album they did, Columbia put out. Yeah, it came out in 1980. Where did I get that album from? I think I can't remember who. Somebody gave me that fucking album. But it was, it's the red cover and it's like half the Aerosmith logo on it, and had Kings and Queens on it, and I was like in love with that. And that Kings and Queens is a different version too than what was on the album on Draw the Line. So little fucking single edit version. But that's the true album that got me into Aerosmith. But I wasn't hugely into them. But I remember I fucking loved Kings and Queens. I used to fucking just put the needle back and be like, oh my god, this song is so fucking good. Kings and queens and guillotines, making lives tonight. Woo, fucking love that shit. So, Toys in the Attic, though, was that album. I bought it years later, of course, because I was 5 when this fucking album came out. And that was just the one fucking Aerosmith album that just fucking spoke to me. We all have those fucking albums that are nostalgic to us depending on when we got into a band and that kind of shit. And everybody has a different version. I was just watching, because I did my Alice Cooper show not too long ago. And then a shout out to Mick Watkins. Watkins or Dick Watkins, as he is also known. I was watching his Alice Cooper because he just did it. And I'm older than Mick, so like it's funny how when you watch, like, there's certain albums because of his age that he just fucking loves because it was a special time in his life. where I'm older, and there's so me and him like kind of our number one and two was exactly the same. It was fucking $1 billion Babies and Killer. Um, and then I think our least favorite ones were the same too. Was Pretty for You and Easy Action. So, and then in the middle there were some of our albums coincided. So it was cool to watch his fucking review and then mine. It was kind of, but it was interesting to see how certain people gravitate towards certain albums and certain songs. But because we all hear fucking different musically, we all fucking take it in differently. So for me, it was fucking Toys in the Attic from 1975. I just fucking loved that album. To me, that's Aerosmith's perfect fucking album. It's not Rocks. Sorry. You can still love Rocks, though. But for me, it opens up with Toys in the Attic. Toys! Toys in the attic lights! Voices scream. Nothing seems real somehow. I don't know. It's got Uncle Salty Told Me. Uncle Salty's fucking great. It's got Adam's Apple. It's got Walk This Fucking Way. It's got Big 10-inch Record, which is a cover tune. I can remember when I was fucking listening to this. The reason why I even bought this album was because my ex-wife loved the song Big 10-inch Record. Written by Fred Weissmantel. Banana, or it's also known as Big 10-inch. First recorded in 1952 by Bull Moose Jackson. Woo! Bull Moose Jackson. Tyler was listening to when he was a kid. Oh, dude, let's go jam out some Bull Moose. Woo! Yeah, Bull Moose Jackson. Wonder if he was in the Jacksons. Anyways, my ex-wife loved this fucking song, so I had to go find it. So I bought this album, and then I fucking loved this fucking album. And I was like, oh, got me the strangest woman. Believe me, that chick's no sense. She gets all excited when I whip out my big 10-inch record of a band that plays the blues. A band that plays the blues. She does love my big 10-inch record of a favorite blues. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Yeah. It's got fucking Sweet Emotion buried in this fucking album, which is probably one of their biggest songs, next to Dream On, you know, and dude looks like a lady. Sweet Emotion. Can't blame me because the rabbit done died. Written by fucking Tyler and fucking Tom Hamilton. I'm going to have to give Tom Hamilton some more kudos because I think I shit on him a little bit too much. It's got No More, No More. It's got Round and Round and Round and Round. And it's got You See Me Crying's the last song. Written by Steven Tyler and Don Solomon. Probably my least favorite song on the whole fucking album. This is my fucking favorite Aerosmith album. It's fucking great. I fucking love this album. This to me was like kind of before they kind of started to fall off the cliff with the fucking drug use and shit. This was when they were fucking rolling, you know, and you can always pinpoint a point in any band where they're just fucking clicking, and they, every band, you could name any fucking band, you could kind of pick that center point where you're just like, that was when they were at the fucking top of their game. And like Alice Cooper, the top of the game. Fucking $1 billion babies. Jesus fucking Christ, you know? Aerosmith is fucking Toys in the Attic. Toys! In the attic, toys! Voices scream, nothing seems real someday. So that's my fucking ranking of the Aerosmith albums. So we started off with number 15, which was 9 Lives, which is just a big pile of shit. It really is. Fucking terrible. Terrible album cover. With the cat on the fucking wheel with a fucking... Was he wearing an Aerosmith shirt? 14 was Just Push Play from 2001. Just a noisy, kind of like try to sound fucking loud and obnoxious. Not awesome. 13 was Honkin' on Bobo, 2004. It was just kind of a head scratcher because it's just like, I know you guys grew up with fucking old school Bo Diddley and fucking Bull Moose fucking Jackson and shit like that, but we didn't. So if you're making a fucking record for people in their fucking 60s and 70s, cool, but they're not your record buying public. So I don't know. I mean, somebody in Aerosmith should kind of figure shit out and be like, is this a good idea? It's like, dude, you're thinking with your heart or you're thinking with your head. And with your heart, you're like, oh, I love these fucking old blues songs. Cool. But to come out with a fucking album, your younger fucking generation Aerosmith fans did not buy that out. In fact, nobody did. But at the same time, kind of painting yourself into a fucking corner there with the honking on Bobo. But I enjoyed it. It's a cool thing. But you gotta be in the fucking mood for that. I don't just like bust out fucking Muddy Waters or Robert Johnson or fucking Bo Diddley. I don't just go, hey, I'm gonna listen to some Bo Diddley today. I really don't. So I get where they were coming from. They were thinking like, well, let's play some fucking songs that we jammed back in 1970 when we're, starting out, stuff that we loved. But you could have incorporated it. Like Dave Lee Roth, he always was listening to all these old fucking vaudeville kind of fucking bands like that, kind of Ice Cream Man, fucking Sinatra, fucking Tobacco Road, that kind of shit. But at least he incorporated it into a fucking album that would work, where 1 or 2 or 3 songs are covers from older shit. Not, well, let's come out with a fucking whole album of fucking old blues standards and we'll put one new song written by Marty Friedrichsen on here. So, anyways, that's number 13. Number 12, Music from Another Dimension from 2012. Just an album that probably lost its fucking momentum because it took 6 fucking years to come out. Maybe it would have been fresher and cooler if they actually recorded it in a month and then put it out, but 6 years, stuff gets lost in the mix. Number 11, Permanent Vacation, that huge 5 times platinum, fucking MTV driven, fucking song doctor, John Kalodner, fucking Geffen Records masterpiece. Hangman's Jury, man. Hangman's fucking Jury. Work boy when you lie on the track like a work boy when you lie on the track. Alright, number 10, Get a Grip. And fucking Don Henley on there. That's why. The Curse of Don Henley. I fucking hate Don Henley. I really do. Like the Eagles, kinda, but I fucking hate Don Henley. Oof. Go listen to Boys of Summer. Oh, yeah. Fuck that guy. Piece of shit. How do you really feel, Matt? Fuck Don Henley. Fuck Don Henley in the ass with a big red rubber dick, like George Carlin. Oh, number 9, Rock in a Hard Place. Not really an Aerosmith album. I mean, it is, but it isn't. It doesn't have Tyler, doesn't have Perry, doesn't have Brad Whitford. They're kind of important, Had Jimmy Crespo and Rick Dufay. Well, it didn't really have Rick Dufay. Brad Whitford did play rhythm guitar, though, on Lightning Strikes, so... And then he quit the band. I finally realized that. I was like, oh yeah, Brad Whitford actually did play on Rockin' a Hard Place. He played on one fucking song. They did Lightning Strikes, and then he was like, peace. And then the rest is just Jimmy Crespo, right? Yeah. Chachi from fucking Jody Loves Chachi. Rick Dufay. I'll put the picture up here. They're in this ugly, burned, orangish, yellow sweater. His lips are like bright red, like he just fucking did cocaine for fucking 8 days and his lips are all chapped. Jailbait's cool. Of course, it's called Jailbait because Steven Tyler wrote it. I just read a song called Underage Girls That I Like to Bang. And it has lightning strikes on it. Some of the other songs are cool, but like, dude, like right in the middle where it goes into Prelude to Joni and then it goes into Joni, and people praise that. I saw an interview where like Martin Popoff said that that was one of the bright spots on the album. It's fucking weird, but I didn't get that vibe. I always hated that fucking song. It's like he's rhyming Joni and Pony, and it's fucking dumb. Jig is Up's kind of cool, and Rockin' Hard Place, Cheshire Cat is kind of cool. Kind of old school Aerosmithy kind of thing, you know, swanky blues rock kind of shit. But this album wasn't awesome at all. So, did have Joey Kramer still, and it did have Mr. Tom Hamilton, but it did not have Joe fucking Perry, and it didn't have Brad Whitford. So, it wasn't really an Aerosmith album, but it was. So, and it had the fucking rocks on it, like Stonehenge, but they were shaped. So that was the precursor to fucking Spinal Tap. Number 8 was Done with Mirrors, where everything was fucking backwards on the album and basically couldn't get any airplay because none of the fucking DJs could read the fucking album. It wasn't like they were gonna sit there in a fucking mirror and read the fucking shit. You know, they're just like, but pretty solid fucking actual Aerosmith album, the reunion album. Still fucked up on drugs, but it's a pretty fucking solid album. And it's straightforward. It's way before, well, it's the album before Permanent Vacation when they sold their fucking soul, but it's fucking straightforward, which is really cool. Number 7, Draw the Line. Draw the Line. Where they were drawing the line all over the fucking table and snorting half a fucking Peru. Still a good fucking album. Has some hits and misses on it. Milk Cow Blues. God, thank God they put that on there. Number 6 is Get Your Wings, which is a huge fucking step forward, even from the debut, which is still fucking brilliant. But it was a great fucking album. Little caught you with the cocaine to get you undone. A screw your face, a lawyer with nothing to tell. Get love ain't the same on the south side of town. Get love, but you ain't gonna find it around. Where he's out, the judge of constipation, it goes to his head. Your wife's aggravation, you soon end up dead. It's the same old story. Some of fucking Tyler, when he was fucked up, man, he would write some really good fucking lyrics. He did. Number 5 was Pump with Jamie's Got a Gun. The whole world's come undone. What did her daddy do? It's Jamie's last IOU. You gotta take it down easy and put a bullet in his brain. It's got hoodoo, voodoo, medicine man. I fucking love that song. Number 4, we're gonna go Aerosmith with fucking Dream On. Fucking Moving Out and fucking Make It and fucking Walking the Dog. Number 3, we're gonna go Rocks with Back in the Saddle Again with Joe Perry playing the fucking 6-string bass because he's a fucking genius. It's fucking awesome. Great fucking album. Not my favorite, but great. Number 2 is Night in the Ruts from 1979. With fucking no surprise. That's a fucking great song. What else? Remember, walking in the sand. Which is like, it's funny because every time my chick's watching TikTok, they play Remember Walking in the Sand. Like, if you watch TikTok, it's like Remember Walking in the Sand. It's a Shangri-La song. You know, they did Leader of the Pack and shit. But it's always on TikTok, so I'm always like, dude, why do they have a fucking Aerosmith song on there? You know? I think the Reds is fucking great. If you take anything away from this fucking ranking and watching it, go fucking listen to Night in the Ruts, because your estimation of it will fucking grow. It's one of the better fucking Aerosmith albums. Obviously, it's number 2. And number 1, of course, for me, is fucking Toys in the Attic. And it goes to Walk This Way, even though Walk This Way, of course, is a fucking genius song. It's for everything else on it, too. It's just fucking Sweet Emotion. Uncle Salty told me when I was just a baby. Fucking Toys in the Attic. Toys. It's a fucking great album. So that's my fucking Aerosmith ranking. What do we got on the live Aerosmith album front? A live bootleg from 1978. Live bootleg's fucking cool. Pretty straightforward, most of it, but there is some fucking like way old fucking recordings from them playing in like bars and shit. I think it's is it Mother Popcorn? Yeah, like I think Mother Popcorn, the beginning of that's from like some fucking show in like 1972, and then it goes into Draw the Line. It was like kind of meshed together. This was just kind of an album that was kind of pieced together with a bunch of performances, but it is, to me, in my opinion, probably the seminal fucking Aerosmith live fucking album. If you're gonna go somewhere in the Aerosmith discography, you're gonna grab this one, because it's got all the fucking great songs. It's got Back in the Saddle, Sweet Emotion, Lord of the Thighs, Toys in the Attic, Walk This Way, Last Child, Come Together, which Aerosmith did a great version of Come Together. Walk This Way, Sick as a Dog, Dream On, Chip Away at the Stone. This was the album where, like, you couldn't really find Chip Away at the Stone, and it was on this album, and then they put it out on, like, the Gems album. Dream On, I already said that. Sight for Sore Eyes, Mamakin, SOS. Like I said, Mother Popcorn and Draw the Line, it's like 2 different performances from, like, the span of, like, 6 years. And then Train Kept A-Rollin'. Train kept a rolling all night long. Also have Classics Live and then Classics Live Volume 2. I always thought those were like kind of throwaway albums. It was when like Columbia was still trying to cash in on fucking Aerosmith, so they just kept coming out with like, you know, because Classics Live came out, what, 86? And then Classics Live Volume 2 came out in 87. If you piece those two together, it'd make a cool live fucking album, but I don't know. It seems to be like they're all over the place. I'm Rockin' the Joint live at the Hard Rock. That came out in 2005. That's actually a really cool song, or a really cool live album, because they do Big 10-inch record on it. They do I Don't Wanna Miss a Thing, 'Cause I Miss You, Babe, and I Don't Wanna Miss a Thing. Wasn't that written by Diane Warren? I'm pretty sure it was, from the Armageddon fucking soundtrack. That was a huge song for fucking Aerosmith, too. A Little South of Sanity was 1998. That was a 2-disc set. That was a full-on show. That's later Aerosmith, if you want that. That's got all the hits on it, like Crying and fucking Angel and Amazing. Yeah, that's a pretty cool album. It's a pretty straightforward live album. It is And then Aerosmith always kind of throwing out some shit like big ones where they put an extra fucking song. What was the song? Deuces Are Wild. Blind Man. Most of the time it's not anything fucking stellar. Devil's Got a New Disguise. Yeah, that's about it on Aerosmith. What else do I got? Oh yeah, Ultimate Aerosmith. I got Pandora's Box. And that I can remember my dad got me that back in '91. I remember my dad for Christmas he bought me Pandora's Box, which was the fucking box set for fucking Aerosmith, and it had a bunch of cool stuff. Kind of spanned their whole career up until like. Did it have Jailbait on it? I think it did. Yeah, it had Jailbait. So this goes up to like this is like Columbia. So this goes up to like fucking 1982. So, this was cool because it had the remastered shit from the first album. And it had like a song from fucking Steven Tyler's first band called Chain Reaction, which it wasn't awesome. He was like the drummer and the backup singer. It's fucking cool to get. I have it. It's got a bunch of stuff, a bunch of live stuff, and then a bunch of like remastered tunes, and then a bunch of like shit that you probably wouldn't want to listen to or shit that you never knew of. Like, I think it's got a couple of fucking Brad Whitford, Derek St. Holmes songs on it. No Joe Perry project though. But that's my Aerosmith. Everybody fucking listen to Aerosmith today and stay metal or hard rock, because it's Aerosmith.